Well, that's nearly all, but before we go, a pleasing update to a story we ran earlier this year. Zargana, a political comedian from Myanmar who had been unjustly imprisoned for his political views, has just been released along with hundreds of other political prisoners. Here's Geraldine with that update.
Earlier this year, we introduced you to Zargana, Burma's most famous comedian. For more than 25 years, he's been using political satire to highlight the oppression that's been happening in his country. Burma has been under military rule since 1962. It's one of the most repressive regimes in the world, with consistent reports from the UN of human rights violations. Zargana dared to speak out against his government and was subsequently banned from talking to the media. But he didn't let this intimidate him.
Our country's people, our Burmese people, they have many feelings in their deep of heart. There are many feelings, there are many words in their bottom of heart, but they're afraid of. They don't dare to criticize, they don't dare to speak aloud. So I am their loudspeaker.
In 2008, Zargana was arrested yet again for speaking out against the government's brutality through his comedy and to overseas media. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Amnesty International supporters in New Zealand and many others from around the world have been campaigning for his release and the release of more than 2,000 other political prisoners. A few weeks ago, their calls for freedom were answered, and Zargana, along with several hundred others, were released. While Amnesty is thrilled with this news, their work is not done yet.
No, it will never be done while we have the kind of government in power in Myanmar, Burma, actually. But what we do know is that when we build pressure together, as we have done on the cases of Zargana, Susun Wei, Tet Koko, is that it does build pressure, it does create a focus, and we do contribute to releases and an improvement in conditions. So now that we have those people free, we turn to the other 1,800 who remain in prison.
And Zargana is not out of danger yet. Big changes need to occur to ensure those who have been released are not thrown back in prison for their political activism. Zargana has already expressed his disappointment that the government has not stood by its promise to release more prisoners.
The ones they have released, Zargana is not called the loudspeaker for nothing. He will speak out again. Susun Wei, famous for being outspoken. They will speak out again. They are at risk, and the best way we can keep them safe is to make sure that the government knows that we keep on watching.
So where do you get your courage from?
Courage? I think, sir, I think this is not a courage, and this is an ordinary people's spirit, I think.
So you've survived prison.
Yeah.
You can survive anything.
Yes, this is the beauty of survival.
If you'd like to help Amnesty in their continuing fight for freedom, visit their website.
This programme was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.